I believe I solved the problem. My daughters, I have been, is that better? Let me know. Sound okay? I think I've got it fixed. Let me know. Where is. Yes. Okay. All right. Perfect. Thanks, Brock. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Bill, for the heads up. So I get home. I've been in trainings Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Some Coast Guard trainings, and they've been. I leave here at 7 in the morning. Last night I got back at like 10:30, and I found that my daughters had been in my office messing with my setup here. I've got lights and green screens and microphones and video cameras, and every now and again they like to bring their little buddies in here and make movies and stuff. And so I always have to figure out what's going on. So if we got questions, throw them in. I've got a little bit to chat about and fill some time. Ray, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm glad we've had almost 300 people sign up for that boater boot camp. And the response has been super positive. The one negative response has been I'm having issues logging in. We had some tech issues that I think have been straightened out. So thank you for everybody for registering. Thank you for everybody that sent some kind words. Ray upgraded from the boot camp to the best boat captain, and which is all about handling your boat. And I appreciate that, Ray. Thank you for investing and supporting the channel. Very much appreciate it. Robert, thanks for joining us again from Ohio. Brock, thanks for joining us from Charleston. Brock, I'm hoping to be down in Charleston in the next month or two, and I've got a few things to do down there, so maybe we can catch up for a beer again. And Calvin, welcome. Calvin's been on several times from Ontario, Canada, up there in the cold north. Hopefully, what is it? We're March 21st tomorrow, first day of spring, and I think maybe today's the first official day of spring. We've had some fairly nice weather, but time to really start getting serious and getting out on the water. Rocker, welcome from Lake Mojave, Arizona. And Brock, I definitely will regardless when I'm down there, I'll reach out and try to catch up. So I will, if you got any questions, if anybody's got anything, go ahead and throw a question. If you've got a comment about the boater boot camp, let me know. Be happy to get some feedback on that and some thoughts on that as well. Welcome, Toms River, New Jersey. I've been up there. Been up Toms River. What was I doing up there? Sovereign Bank, when I used to be in banking. That was a client of mine, was Sovereign Bank up there. Snow's melting. Good to hear. Welcome from Minneapolis, Daniel. Thanks for joining us here. And yeah, I think, Calvin, we're all waiting for the season. And I'm tempted. So the Coast Guard training that I was at was up at Lake Norman, which is out lake about an hour away. We're at the yacht club, and it was windy, but it was warm. So just being out there at the marina, there was a little bit of activity of people getting their boats ready to go. we're pretty much out of the freezing temperatures here that we really need to worry about. And so people are getting their boats in the water. The marina was, I'd say, 80% full, 90% full. Most of them are a little bit bigger boats, but there still are some up on lifts and bow riders and pontoons. But it was nice to be at the water and spend some time there. Welcome, Bill, from the Chesapeake Bay area. Glad to have you. And I've been on the water up there, but I've been from where the heck would I have flown into? Somewhere and drove up to Delaware, driving across that big long Chesapeake Bay Bridge or whatever it's called. So, all right, what should we talk about here? We had the boot camp go live. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you. So I just got this email from a lady. Let's see if we can go big screen. She had you may have seen it even if you watched some of the recent videos that she said her name's Amy. I crossed out her information because I don't have permission to share her name. But just purchased Best Bad 2 Captain on the course. She said you'd give me the coastal update for free when it's ready in April or so. But she had some really nice comments on the videos. Thanks for all you do. You have no idea how much I appreciate you, how you're helping me make a dream come true. Spent months researching how to be safe and learn how to drive a boat. No one will teach me where I live. Exactly why I created the Best Boat Captain program. No one seemed to know how to guide me or direct me. You're a gem. So one, it's great getting emails like this. You have no idea how much it means to me to get down or to get these kind of comments and to know that why I'm creating this stuff. Yes, it's a business. Yes, I'm making money. Yes, it's how I support my family. But knowing that this lady is going to have a better time boating, and she's going to be safe. She's going to be more confident. It's going to be less stressful for her. All of that stuff just makes me feel fantastic. So keep those type of emails coming or comments in the things, whatever. But this is one I just got. I just got today at was it 3:20 at 8:04. So just an hour before we start, or half hour before we started, and I showed it to my wife, and I show them to everybody. So Brock went down the Cooper. Check out the. Oh yeah, that's right. Um, what I don't even know if they got it out or what the story is. Um, there's the container ship that's stuck up in the Chesapeake. Bill, I don't know if you've seen that, but got out of the channel and checked there. Have to wait till the end of May to get started. Yeah, I know some of the people I know up north in Minnesota specifically have the game they play of guess the ice out day, and when's the ice totally gone, or when will such and such fall through the water. I know they used to do it with trucks and stuff. I don't think that's probably encouraged anymore. And yeah, it's crazy. All I remember when we were running to yeah, that's for sure. Qualified captain and boat fails and the chit show, all of those are I've thought about doing some videos of taking those videos and like commentating what they're doing wrong. So, yes, we've all done stupid stuff, but here's what they did wrong specifically and how make sure you don't do it. Matter of fact, I just watched one at the training that we were doing of a guy at a local marina that was part of the boat club, and it was super windy day, and got on the throttle, backed into the boat across the lane from him, got on the throttle again, got up on the dock, and nearly hit somebody. So it happens. It happens. But yeah, Brock. We were running from Patriots Point down to Shim Creek, just that little short run, and we ran past a container that was floating in the water, and we ran past a big tractor tire. I mean, a huge tractor tire. I think I was on a 58 Sea Ray at the time, and I wasn't running it. I was just on board, and yeah, it's amazing what you'll find floating in the channels and the shipping lanes, which is right there. Um, Exploring yesterday, saw the container ship 40, yeah, 40-foot draft, and it got stuck in the 20-foot a 20-foot shoal area. That's and it's the same company, I guess, that got stuck in the Suez Canal. I don't know if there's a captain shortage at that level, or what's going on, navigation issues, or what the deal is. Um, Daniel, tell me what kind of boat you've got, and tell me. Here's the big thing where I go. I love a second battery. I don't think you can go wrong with the second battery. Um, the telltale to me is, do you like to anchor out and go to the sandbar and listen to music, and you're going to stay for a long time? If that's a yes, then you absolutely positively should just put the second battery in, get the battery selector switch, the Perco switch, and you're good to go. Um, if you manage that properly, you shouldn't need the jump box. But if you're like, man, we're just going to go out and we're going to be running most of the time, we aren't really going to draw a lot of electricity off the battery when we're not running, then yeah, jump box is just fine. But if you're going offshore, and you're gonna, I know some guys won't shut the engine off if they're offshore. They'll leave it running and idle, because they don't want to have the chance that something happens and it won't start up again. Dead battery, fuel issues. If it's running, it's likely to stay running. Yeah. So on a pontoon, you're probably, like I said, if you're a music listener and you've got even a reasonable, so yeah, then put the second battery in. Music all day long, put the second battery in. It'll save your butt. It'll save your butt more than one time in the next 5 years. And for the whatever it is, if you can do it yourself, you know, batteries $150, the switch probably 75 maybe. And if you can do it yourself, you're good. Maybe an hour at the most of labor, as long as there's on a newer Harris, it should be pretty simple, for them to put it on. Yeah, Calvin, it's what we were doing in the training is today all day is, dead reckoning and doing time, speed, distant calculations and things like that. And I don't know what it is, but I don't know if they have to be using redundant charts and GPS. It's just I don't know why you would have those issues, unless for some reason the channels are changing or shifting, which they do, and they haven't been mapped yet. But in a shipping lane like the Chesapeake, I would think that they have those dredged and well marked and everything. So it's interesting. Same boat I ordered, definitely. Yeah, Robert, did you have you taken delivery yet? I don't remember. I don't remember if you took delivery or if you just placed your order. Um, I don't know why I'm blanking on that. But anyway, so in the training that I've been doing, the captain's LS Marine Max, about the VSR. What Daniel, thanks. Tell me what the VSR is. VSR. You're gonna say it, and I'm gonna probably feel like a big dummy here, but I'm not sure what that means. Okay, all right. So it's in. Congratulations, and I think you were just outside or a ways, not a ways, but hopefully the weather is nice enough that you can get out. voltage sensitive relay. I'm not sure what that is. I mean, I can imagine what it is, to protect your systems, but, like the what I'm talking about, maybe that's another word for it, but, just the Perco battery switch is what I'm thinking. Let me see if I can Perco battery switch. So this is what I'm yeah, $50, $40 at Marine Max or Marine Max, West Marine, um, with the 2 selection, knob. That's what I'm thinking, where you go to start it on all, then you crank it to 1 on even days, 2 on odd days, or vice versa, probably makes more sense, so that you keep charging both batteries good. When you're done for the day, you turn it off. So when you start it, you're at all, and you're pulling from both batteries. It's really important if your batteries are low, get them both together, just get one big start. And then when you're running, go one day that you're running, go to 1, the next day you're running, go on 2, and that way you're equally charging both of those batteries, because electricity will run to the least resistance possible, and that is going to be the more charged up battery. So when you're running and it's on all the time, it's going to keep charging the full battery the most, and it's not doing both, charging only the one battery that needs. Okay, so that's the system, the voltage sensitive relay. So that's what I always have done it manually. But there's technology that can do it for you. All the better, all the better. Um, is that I'm wondering BSR. I was wondering if that was a just automatically included in these as well or not, or if that's a an upgrade. So anyway, yeah, that I would definitely go with the second battery for sure. That I think you're gonna be happier with that, and it will come in handier. All right. So what else do we have for questions today? What videos have we released here? Videos. So we talked about bottom paints. These are my ethanol. The ethanol video is one that has gotten a lot of comments, and there hasn't been the person saying, ethanol is great. There's no way. I hope that I explained it well enough, the advantages and the disadvantages, and when it becomes an issue and when it isn't. So hopefully that was valuable. And then this one here, the Mercury versus Yamaha one. I knew that was going to stir the pot a little bit with if you're a Mercury guy or a Yamaha guy. If you haven't watched the video, in the reality, in my mind, they're both great engines right now. They both have had their issues over the years. They both have had some huge winners, some just rock solid, gonna run and start every time. They've each had their duds that have had issues. They've each done a poor job of standing behind their engines at times. They've each done a great job of standing behind their engine at times. And over, decades and decades and decades, they've had good and bad. And but here's the reality, in my opinion, with any of these engines. If you stay away from the known bad ones, that, hey, we know we have corrosion issues, we know we have whatever the issue that it might be, you run the engine and you maintain the engine. And if you buy it new, you break it in the proper way. You go through the proper break-in procedures, and then you do every single maintenance required. Um, Give it good gasoline, winterize it, put it away for long periods of time properly. If you do all of that stuff, a Yamaha, a Mercury, a Suzuki, a Honda, a Tohatsu, they're all going to do you very, very well, in my opinion. What happens is, and the reason why boat engines especially have a bad reputation, break out another thousand, all of those kind of, a hole in the water you throw money to. The reason for so many people that's true is they buy a used boat that has issues that they didn't know about. They didn't inspect it properly. They didn't do a proper sea trial. They didn't pull the service records or ask for service records. And the boat wasn't maintained properly. It has issues. They don't maintain it properly. It has issues. That's the number one cause of disappointment in boating, is because things aren't taken care of properly, because it's not as easy as a car. My truck, I jump in it. I run a tank of gas through every week or two. I put on new tires. I put on new brakes. I change the oil every 5 to 7,000 miles. Um, and I'm done. I don't need to think about it anymore, but I'm always using it. My truck's got 100 and some thousand miles on it. I'm always using it. Your boat sits for long periods of time. Your boat, you run it idle for long periods of time, and then it's in salt potentially. And if you don't flush it, if you don't rinse that salt off, if you don't change your oil, and you've got gear lube, and you've got the impeller, and you've got fuel water separators, and you've got to grease the Zerk fittings on a yearly basis, you don't pull your prop and you get fishing line in there and you tear a seal, and now you're leaking gear lube, and now you've got an expensive repair, because there's more to it than just jump in it, fill it up with gas, and change the oil, put on new tires, and change your brakes. With the boat, you've got to do the service every year, and you've got to do the daily stuff, the every time you take it out stuff that is going to be preventative. There's a lot of preventative stuff on a boat, because even the most used pleasure boat maybe gets used 30 times a year. Let's say you take it out once a week. That's still only 50 times. Well, now you've got winter, and um, if you're Calvin, and hey, your water is frozen over 5 months out of the year, now you've only got 6 years, so now you've only got 25 times to take it out if you take it out every week. You got to put it away for that 6 months, and hey, you got other stuff going on, and so it sits for weeks or a month at a time. That's why, in my opinion, that these engines have issues. It's not because they're poorly made. It's because now they could probably do better on certain things. Each of them could, but it's because they're not taken care of properly and maintained, and treated right. The preventative stuff, the flushing, the spraying it down, the pulling the cowling and checking your engine oil, checking your gear lube, making sure that your impeller. I've got the water pump impeller video that I did a week and a half ago. Those things really matter, and for a lot of people, like, I can get another year out of it, and next thing you know, they try to get that other year out of it. Well, now they didn't pull their lower unit, or whatever, wherever it's at on the boat, and they missed something that they could have found, and it could have been a simple repair. But now, because they didn't pull the cowling, they didn't change their fuel water separator, they didn't check the fuel filters, they didn't check the oil, they didn't check the gear lube, they didn't change their impeller, they didn't pull their drive, they didn't drop their lower unit. Now something breaks that could have easily been identified, could have easily been a maintenance item, and now it becomes an expensive repair. And so if you're listening and you're newer to boating, you've got your first boat on order, it's sitting in Cincinnati, all wrapped up, just waiting for you to come pick it up, just dying to get on the water with you. Make sure that you pay attention, read your owner's manual. I've got a Mercury one sitting over here, a Mercruiser one. Do the break-in properly. Talk to your dealer about anything that you should know on the break-in, and don't talk to the sales guy. Talk to the service guy. Talk to the service manager. Talk to a technician. Hey, what's the right way to break this in? Look at the manual. Any other insights that you have for me, and then go do that. All right. So I feel like I was on a soapbox there for a little bit. But I see so many comments of people that they talk trash about a certain engine brand. And then I always ask, hey, what did you have specifically? Tell me the year of the model. Did you buy it new or used? And when they say they bought it used, I'm like, well, there's a chance the previous owner did a crap job of taking care of this engine. So, all right. I promise I'm done this time. All right. So, D. Grigg, what's going on with Evinrude? Yep, Evinrude, and D. Grigg, you've been on here before. I've seen your name. Evinrude was shut down. The brand was shut down in 2020. Maybe August of 2020. They used the pandemic as a cover. So since 2020, they haven't been making motors, and they said they were still going to service their outstanding by making parts and things. I don't know what's going to happen. Traditionally, at some point, parts get difficult to come by. Technicians' expertise gets less and less because they're not going to the schools. They're not keeping up. As new techs come in, they've never been exposed to the G2. They've never been exposed to the E-Tech. And so if there's anything unique about that engine, that knowledge base goes away over time. People see less and less of them because there's no new ones coming on the market. The value of them goes down, and that's what happened. Now, they say because of the pandemic, I think their strategy of going straight two-stroke, the G2, very, very advanced technology. Some guys loved it. I talked to a guy today that was in my training that he said he put 600 hours on his engine. He's got a Evinrude G2, and said, awful. I can't wait to get back to a Yamaha or a Merc. He's like, I won't touch. I hate that I've got an Evinrude. So it's that's what's going on. Back in Maryland when I was growing up, my dad never winterized heated garage, so we just started up run. Yeah, that actually, Brock, I think that's the best option as long as you're in a place where if the power goes out, it'll likely be back up quickly so you don't freeze. But the best thing to do is to run your engine every week or two. I tell that to people that around here, we're in the Carolinas, just outside Charlotte is where I am. And I'm like, hey, if you want to leave your boat in the water, awesome. Leave it in the water. Just make sure that you crank that engine up every week or two. Get that oil running back through the system, get that impeller moving, get everything exercised, treat the fuel because you're not going to run through as much fuel. So put the stabilizer in if there's, put the treatment in that you need to based on are you putting ethanol in or regular gasoline, but either way, treat it properly so that you don't get moisture in there. But that's the best thing. And a motor wants to be run. A motor wants to be moving, and that way those parts get all lubricated naturally. You get all that fluid, you bring it up to temperature, and that's the best. So that's the best. Yeah, it's not a car. It's not a car, and I know part of it's the industry's marketing fault. The industry wants people to think that, it's the same thing with technology. The industry wants people to think that owning a boat is easy and there's nothing to it, and maintenance is inexpensive and it's a cheap way to do it. The reality is, I talk about this on my channel a lot, is it's an awesome, eh, fantastic hobby for families. If you want to be active outdoors, if you want to be the excitement of fishing or going offshore, or just being in nature, whatever your reason is, but understand that if you own the boat, you're not renting, you're not in a boat club. If you own the boat, there's stuff that comes with it. There's maintenance, there's cleaning, there's storage, there's other expenses. There's skills that are necessary. My best boat captain on the water training. There's skills that are necessary. Oh, you guys haven't been seeing my face. Sorry about that. Um, and I think I think it's somewhat of a disservice if they would be a little bit more upfront with that type of stuff, but then give the knowledge to how to do it. Well, a lot of what I'm doing on this channel is what I've been teaching to the industry for a long time and been talking about. So, impeller, fuel water separator, new gear lube, ready for another summer on Lake Erie. That's all. Pappy, I saw you in the comments earlier today too. I don't remember what video that was, but it's good to see you here. Um, Hux, oil changes. Are you better tilting the motor back to keep them level? Although, service, get the ice off. Um, I Charlie, I don't know on yours for sure. Um, the angle of you're on a trailer, it should have a tilt, a natural tilt to it. I don't know where the plug is specifically on your engines. I think you've got twins in yours, but but look in the manual. It'll be in the manual because most of those Yamahas are going to be on a trailer, and so it'll tell you. But my gut tells me that if you're just at a regular level of flat level or above, that it's gonna tilt out the right way if there's a drain plug and you don't need to use a suction pump. But I don't know. I've never done it on the jet boat engines. Yeah, we had ours was probably a 75, an 85 Mercury 4 or Mercury 2-stroke. It was probably a 75 that I was a kid when we had it. We got when I was probably 8 or 10, we moved up to a stern drive, but um all right. I noticed in your video your engine's a Mercury Pro 200. What's the difference? So the Pro XS, I talk about it in this video, Ray. The Pro XS is sort of, and the Yamaha VMAX, it was sort of the four-stroke technology answer to the two-stroke guys that said, listen, these engines are quiet, these engines are efficient, these engines are great, but I just don't have that pick up and go like I did with my two-stroke. I hate them. I don't want anything to do with them. I'm a two-stroke guy. Well, what they did is they said, how can we get these to run with more torque? How can we get these to be quicker out of the hole? So Mercury developed the Pro XS. Yamaha developed the VMAX technology, and they run. I don't know what they did to them. I'm not enough of a expert to say here's how they did it, but I what they did is they got them to run at a little bit higher RPM. So I think the Pro XS is like 60, 62, 60, 6400 is your max RPM, and they got them more torque. Um, and they get them out of the hole quicker. So that's the Pro XS. The four stroke, which you have that 204 stroke, if it's just a regular four stroke and not the Verado, if it's just a regular four stroke, it's designed to be quieter, to be a little bit more efficient. It doesn't have the same pop, but it is, especially on the Mercs, it is way quieter, way quieter. It's I don't remember like I ran the Pro XS a ton because I used that. I ran a 22 foot Harris with the 115 Mercury Pro XS when I did my best pontoon captain on the water training. And it astounded me how loud that engine was compared to the four strokes and the Verado Mercuries that I've run. I don't remember having that same reaction around the VMAXs. But I haven't spent as much time on a VMAX either. So I don't know if any of you guys have a VMAX, but if there's that same sound to it. And I think Mercury did that on purpose a little bit, because another thing the two-stroke guys liked is the sound. They liked ripping down the main channel with their two-stroke, just put the hammer down and you were boom, you were shot out like a rocket, and you had that two-stroke sound that if you've been around boats, you know it. You can hear it running down the lake and you're like, two-stroke, I got it. And I think so they almost gave it that sound. Um, and yeah, Brock is right. They gear them differently as well to get that lower end, that out of the hole torque. So, but that's the main difference. And if you haven't, Ray, I'm disappointed if you haven't watched this video. It's been out for a week now, but I talk I talk about it in there, the differences a little bit, and I kind of give a comparison of, if you're shopping, this Mercury compares to this Yamaha. This one compares here, and I go into it a little bit. So you're welcome, Ray. Brock, thanks for that. See, you always got a little extra something to add in. That's awesome. I appreciate you, like guys like you and Robert and Charlie, and that are just have good information. Calvin, that are always around and sharing thoughts and putting ideas and having a community. So all right. 66 Xaner, looking at a 94 Four Winds Horizon, Cobra, new gears. Any suggestions? Okay. So it's a Cobra, which is better than Ray, which is better than the Stringer drive for OMC. I don't know where you are, but I would, unless you're going to do your own wrench turning, if you're going to do your own work, um, okay, just understand that OMC is no longer in business. So some of the parts can be difficult to find. Um, with the internet, I'm hearing more and more people on my boats not to buy, my engines not to buy. I said, stay away from OMCs. I had a lot of Cobra people that said, not true. Cobras are fine. They're the early generation of Volvo, and they're great. We can get parts, no problem. I've also talked to people that have bought OMC Cobras and they can't find a soul to work on them. So in Pennsylvania, what I would do, depending on where you are in Pennsylvania, I would call around to some service shops and say, hey, I'm looking at a 94 Horizon with a Cobra drive with the Ford 5.0. Would you work on it? What's your availability look like? Do you have experience? Do you like to work on them? What are your thoughts on them? Because what you'll find is that people will say, nope, we don't work on them. Nope, we don't work on them. Yeah, I can work on them. Do you work on quite a few of them? Well, I've got one that I see every now and again. Now you're like, all right, if I do have a diagnostic issue, and on a 94, even the best taken care of boat is going to have some issues. Something's going to come up. I don't know what it is. No matter how well you inspect it, have a maintenance budget. You put yourself at a disadvantage with an OMC Cobra because the expertise isn't there. Like if it was an older Mercruiser, there's a ton of Mercruiser guys. If it's an older Volvo, and there's Volvo, I'd say the same thing with Volvo. If there's Volvo techs in your area, then you're fine. But it's harder and harder. Just like I was saying about the Evinrude G2s and the E-Techs, those technicians with that expertise are phasing out and retiring, and the new people coming in have never seen them. And so that's the concern that I have. New gears in the outdrive. why did they have to replace it? Was it just they forgot gear lube? Okay, if they did that and there was an issue, is there something else in there that you need to be aware of? So just be very diligent in the inspection. Even though it's freezing up there in Pennsylvania, don't buy that boat without putting it on the water and running it first, and run it for a good 15, 20 minutes, do some full throttle, um, and put it through its paces. If you don't have it, get my boat buyer's toolkit. It's free. It's got a checklist to how to demo. If you want to dive even more into what to look for, the First Time Boat Buyer Academy is available. This boat, used boat, this video, how to buy a used boat. There's a better one. How to buy a used boat without getting ripped off. It's 44 minutes long. It's 3 years old, but all the information is still relevant. And it just be cautious if that's the way you go. But if you're buying a boat in that $12,000 range, be cautious on anything. Here's what I say. Get it. If you slow on the inspection, take your time, inspect everything, look at every nook and cranny. Once it checks out, act quick. Have the money ready. Be ready to go. You've got your financing, you got your insurance, you've got everything lined up. Boom, I'll take it. But slow down at that inspection and put anything on the water and operate it for a good 20 minutes or so. And again, I talk about it a little bit here in the checklist on the Boat Buyer's Toolkit. It's boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/toolkit, totally free. You can get that, and it'll help you. It'll help you avoid making a mistake, so that you don't end up with a $12,000 investment, and now you've just got a boat in the driveway that needs $14,000 of repairs, and you're like, well, that's stupid. Instead, I would rather have you wait a little bit, or not wait, be be more patient to make sure that's a good $12,000 investment, so that you can have a great time on the water with you and your family. And just know there's going to be $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 repairs that come up on even the best situation. But I want you to avoid is the $6,000 repair, the $8,000 repair, the $15,000 repair. So hopefully that makes sense. I'll be 70 soon. Take a while, stuff to sink in. Hey Ray, I get like 3 cents every time you watch a video. So if you have to watch it twice or 3 times, that's okay. That's okay. Use the factory oil. It's 66 Anzer, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thanks for joining us, and check out there's 300 plus videos on the site. Go watch all the ones that are applicable to you. Watch the other one just for entertainment. And I think you'll make a smart decision if you use all the resources here, attend these lives. We've got a ton of smart people that join these lives as well, and chime in with thoughts and experiences and knowledge that I don't have. So feel free to join us. We're here every Sunday at 8:30 Eastern time, PM. Yeah, Robert, factory. It's I know it's frustrating that the Quicksilver gear lube and the Quicksilver oil is a little bit more expensive, but it's designed specifically for those engines. Yes, they probably make a little bit more profit on it, but I think that's the way to go. The AMSOIL is good. Matter of fact, at the the Greensboro Boat Show, I talked to the reps at AMSOIL for a long time, just about kind of I didn't know anything about their history, and that's good as well. But hey, stick to the factory stuff. If there was a better oil for their engine, I think they would probably use it. So 70 sunk it on me. um all right, perfect. All right, guys, what other questions we got? We've got some folks on. I've what else do I have to talk about? I don't really have a whole lot else to share. It seems like we hit a record. We hit a record for views in the last 28 days. We've had over 350,000 views of these videos in the last 28 days. And it's going up. It's super super. Yeah, that was when I talked to the Amsol guys. It seemed like their two-stroke oil is what got them started. They were talking about the guy that started the company was an aviation guy, and there were issues with running some of the airplanes in World War I, maybe at the cold altitude, and and he came up with whatever he reverse engineered what the army was doing and created it for a or for he reverse engineered what the Russians were doing or somebody was doing and brought it back to America, and that's how they all got started. It was an interesting story. Interesting. So Brock is a big believer in the two stroke. Do you run any of their conventional synthetic oil? I'm wondering. Okay, you will use it in your car, so yeah, you do. Robert on his cars, motorcycles, side by sides. Yeah, okay. So that's I ah I'm gonna say I'm gonna stick with my factory, but it's because I'm not as knowledgeable maybe as with the experience with the AMSoil. So I'll let you use the other information that you've gotten here. I think you can see all of the um so yeah, Ray, you may be interested in the backstory of the company. And yeah, take their Brock and Robert, having talked to both of them, both been on the podcast. Brock was a guest, a live guest when I was down in Charleston. Their knowledge and use and other things says, all right, maybe it's like the box anchor. It's like the box anchor. My opinion is not always 100% right. It's my opinion and my experience, but I just don't have the experience with that product. So um, Ray, I have my my VHR ticket. I haven't flown in years and years and years, but I got that learned on a Cessna 182. So that was, oh shoot, 15 years ago now, I guess, is when I did that. All right, so let me do my little commercial here. If we've got, we're coming up on 50 minutes. If anybody else has questions, comments, go ahead and throw them in the chat, and I will get to everybody. But I also, because I give all this away for free, I'm going to take a couple minutes to offer some additional assistance if you are interested. The First Time Boat Buyer Academy is, if you're not sure and you're a little bit nervous about making a smart decision, or you're worried about paying too much, the First Time Boat Buyer Academy is a fantastic option. I go through what I call the 7 savvy steps to buy, from, hey, what should we get? What style of boat? How do we inspect that boat, whether it's new or used? How do we make sure we're getting a great deal? How do we negotiate with a dealer or a private seller? How do we make sure all the paperwork's right? How do we handle the loan and the insurance situation? So I just cover everything. You can find probably 80% of the information by watching some of the 300 videos that are out there, but this is just in a very clear, concise way, and step by step, so you get exactly what you need. And it's in my opinion, it's great. I have one guy that said, I can get all this on the internet, and asked for a refund. Great. I gave him the refund because I've got my Captain Matt's personal happy boater guarantee. For whatever reason, if you're not happy with the product, you want to take advantage of me, you just wanted to test it out and see what's going on, I'd rather you didn't waste my time, but you get a refund. If you ask for it, you get it, and you get it right away. No hassles, no run around. You don't have to send a letter. You send me an email, say, Matt, refund, you get it. That's just, it gets processed, and it gets done. That's on all of my stuff that there's an investment. The best boat captain on the water. the best pontoon captain on the water. And I showed you Amy's comment from earlier today that I got about the best boat captain on the water course. So that's the type of stuff that I love getting. And I've got a ton of those. I've got people I need to reach out to do video interviews that I've been tied up doing a bunch of other stuff, getting the boot camp live and all that. So, but if you're one that said, yes, I would do a video with you, and you send a nice email, I'll be reaching out hopefully in the next week or so. And then we also have the free stuff. So I talked about it to 66 Anzer. I don't know. I'm you know who you are. 66. There's the Boat Buyer's Toolkit, which it's like 28 pages, and 28 pages looks like this, and it's chock full of just checklists, questions to ask, how to demo a boat, looking at insurance, and it's full of stuff like that on, and so if you're new to buying a boat, just get it. It's free. You'll love it. There's also a cost of ownership calculator that comes with it that a lot of people have found good value in. It's just an Excel sheet. You plug in your information. That's free. The Boaters Boot Camp just came out. It officially goes live. The press release is hit tomorrow. So I'm really super excited about that. You'll probably start seeing some ads on Facebook for it. That's a totally free program for new boaters. If you haven't gone through that and you're newer, or even if you're an experienced boater, you'll probably learn something, or at least it'll be somewhat entertaining for you. But I'm super proud of how that turned out. You can get that at boaterbootcamp.com. Just put in your information and you'll get set up. I think we've got all the tech glitches out of it so that you'll actually get the email with your login information. I think we've got all that sorted out. So thank you, everybody, the almost 300 people that have already signed up for it. And I'm excited to see when we release it to the general public. Thank you, Hux. I appreciate that. I got your email, and I appreciate that for sure. So that's free as well. And then Trailer Like a Pro, Tow Water Sports with Confidence, other programs that we have for a little bit more specific stuff if you need help with them. All right, so that's that. Thank you for letting me do my little commercial. Let's see here. A couple questions came in. Keep up the great work. Load knows there's no surplus of capable boat operators on the water. Few that teach maintenance operators and crazy situations will encounter. Stephen, thank you for that. It is, especially with COVID. I mean, the waterways are busier. A bunch of 300 and some thousand new first-time boaters bought boats, new and used, in the past year. The number was about the same. I think it was 314,000 in 2021, 300,000 in 2020. And dealers didn't have time to train. If you buy from a private individual, nobody's training you. Here's the keys and go. And it's as the boaters that have been around a long time know, and new boaters soon find out, it's not easy. It is once you know what to do, once you know kind of some concepts, it can be super easy, but it takes having that level of knowledge. And hopefully these programs are giving people that and making them safer and having more fun. So Brock, I don't know if you answered that question. All right, good. There's some comments going on. I haven't got through. I don't know. So Calvin, the Boaters Boot Camp and the Best Boat Captain have some boater safety stuff in it. Rules of the road, navigational, buoy markers and channel markers and danger markers and things like that. VHF radio. We talk about that stuff, but the Best Boat Captain training, it's 90% here's how to control your boat so that you can jump on your boat and you can put it on the dock. You can tie it up. You can run in open water and hit rough chop and be comfortable. You know how to navigate so that you're not going to run aground. It's that type of stuff that the boater safety course um, just it doesn't give you that. Hey, how do you steer your boat? How do you operate around the dock? Even the captain's training. If you're a six pack captain, you get very little training on actually how to do it. There's some theory, and you have to document your time on the water, but there's you had to learn that on your own, how to operate the boat or have somebody else teach you. So this program is one of the few ways outside of hiring a local captain or being fortunate enough to grow up with boating like I did, where hey, I've been around boats for 42 years now, and I just know things because I saw the mistakes my dad made. I've got a brother that's 2 years older. My parents were awesome enough that they let us use the boat. When I worked at the marina in college, they said, "Yeah, just keep the boat there. You use it when you want, be responsible," which we were reasonably responsible. I had a 21-year-old brother. I was 18, and it was awesome. It was amazing. But I had that experience. I was always around water and I just do things. If you come into boating, if you're like Charlie and you've never owned your own boat, there's so many little things, the tidbits. There's just so many little things that you don't even know to think about. You don't know, you don't know. You don't consider that, oh, it's a little bit different. And so that's why I put those together and I appreciate I appreciate that sentiment because that's exactly why I put them together. So I would guess, Calvin, that it would probably help a little bit, but if you've gone through, I did a year ago or so, I did the boater exam. I think they're a Canadian company, but they do all of the safe boating courses online. They're approved in all the states. They're approved in Canada. And I'm like, this doesn't teach anybody how to control their boat. It teaches you to pass the test, and you're exposed to some information that's valuable. But and I encourage people to spend the $50 or whatever it is to do it. But it doesn't teach you how to dock your boat, tie up your boat, do that kind of stuff. All right. Um, can I overprop my outboard too much pitch? Yes, you absolutely can overprop it. If you're not getting in that RPM, the max RPM range under normal operating conditions. So what I mean by that is if you're running the boat with yourself and you can't get to your 5,000, 5,500, 6,200, 6,400 max RPM, whatever your motor calls for, if you can't get within a couple hundred RPM of that, it's bad for your engine. You're causing too much stress on your engine. On the flip side, if you are over revving, if you call for 5,500 RPM max RPM at wide open throttle and you're hitting 5,800 consistently, now with a normal load, if it's, hey, I've got light fuel and it's just me and now I'm hitting that rev limiter every now and again when it's trimmed up all the way, and it every now and again it pops, but I usually run with 5 or 6 people on the boat. That I'm not too concerned about, but I'm concerned about the other ends of the spectrum. Too much, too little, that's an issue. Um, all right, awesome. Good. I'm glad that definitely that boater boot camp for sure. It's totally free. I did it free so that there's no reason for people not to do it. Now I do offer the best boat captain on the water as they go through it, um, because that's how I am able to keep doing this. But that free information I think is incredibly useful for people. Thank you for that. I appreciate it, D. Grigg. All right. long time stalker. I've watched a ton of your videos, waiting for the motor for my CS21 LS. Can't wait to get on the water, practice the lessons. Awesome, Doug. That's great. And yeah, it's we had Rhonda from Myrtle Beach, got the best boat captain on the water, and she said that, hey, she got on it, and just by watching it, she was able to put the boat on the dock and put it on the trailer. But when you go through those building blocks in the best boat captain on the water, I'm serious. I say this in my marketing. I've written a bunch of marketing and recorded a bunch of marketing videos. In 43 minutes, which is a little bit longer than the time to watch all of the videos in the building blocks, is you get out on the water and you do those things, you will go from never run a boat to, oh my God, I get it. Like the light bulbs will click, and you'll understand on your boat what you need to do. And then it's just a matter of, hey, just keep practicing and you'll get better and better and better. Um, so what I mean, hey, listen, I get every time I watch one of those videos. I just watched one in the Coast Guard training that I was in today. I've been in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and have again next weekend. But we watched one that happened on the local lake. I was just at the marina it happened at on Thursday, recording some videos. And on one hand, I get a chuckle. On the other hand, I'm like, it doesn't have to be that way. And I feel somewhat sorry for the people that got put in the situation of, here's the keys, here's the boat, go out and have a good time. And nobody took the time to tell them, listen, here's how it works. When you get in this situation, here's what you need to do. If you get, I say this in my training, if you get in a bad situation and the wind's picking up, the current's got you, you're not where you need to be, the best thing you can do is come back to neutral and let happen what's going to happen. That's the best thing you can do in some situations, is just let it go down, because the alternative is, you don't, if you're in that situation, you don't know what to do anyway. And 99 times out of 100, you're going to do the wrong thing, and you're going to do the wrong thing with excessive throttle. And you're going to end up on the dock. You're going to end up busting a windshield. You're going to end up hurting somebody. And that makes me, hey, as an industry, we're not doing a good job making sure that the people that do get into boating and that were sold that dream lifestyle of life's better on a boat, we didn't do a good job of making sure that that became a reality. Dealers, salespeople don't do a good job a lot of times of delivering boats and giving that training. Boat consumers don't do a good job of saying sometimes, hey, this is a new thing, maybe I should learn some stuff. So it's on one side, it's entertaining and I watch them. On the other side, I'm like, I got to do something to make this better. Hence these programs and the free boater boot camp, because hopefully that will get it to click in people's minds that there's a lot of stuff I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I didn't consider. And just opening those ideas. So makes stuff safer. Water is always a plus. Yes, for sure. Um took okay, so I'll tell you this. My I have not taught my wife how to run a boat, and I will not directly teach my wife how to run a boat. I have an amazing wife, and she is awesome. She's smarter than me. She's a great mom. She's a great wife. She's highly successful in her career. And I love her to death, but we cannot work together, and I cannot teach her how to do things. So, um, that's I give you some congrats on being able to teach your wife to do it and still have a good marriage. Um, yeah, and it's getting out and actually doing the building blocks and the best boat captain, getting out and being with somebody that really knows how to operate a boat and knows how to teach you those details, and do it in a clear way. It makes a huge difference. And yeah, the bass boat, I mean, that thing gets pushed around super, super easy. I'm not super surprised that that center console is a little bit easier. So, all right, guys. Jay, welcome. We are wrapping up. We are just over an hour. Thank you, guys. Um, I hope this week was better. I last week I had a great time watching basketball with my buddies, and I probably had a little bit too good of time. They got on the live because they had never done it before and were harassing me. And so if last week was annoying to some folks, I apologize. But we'll be back next week, 8:30 Eastern time. Let everybody know. Thank you, everybody that has supported the channel in some form or fashion, liking a video, commenting, sharing it with your friends on Facebook and wherever. Financially, whether it's a contribution, investing in a program, a donation, all that stuff is very much appreciated. And the emails, the hey, thanks, this made a difference for me. We bought this boat and we're loving it. We got the best boat captain training and we put it on the trailer the first time because of your training. All of that's very much appreciated. And I love having you guys on. Brock, your participation and sharing your insights and value is awesome. Hux, Robert, all you guys for being there. I appreciate it. Yes, for sure. We know your limitations. A good captain knows his limitations. All right, thank you guys. We'll catch y'all next week. Have a great week and enjoy spring. Spring is here and we will catch you guys all next week.